Respected dear family members, today we will be learning about Puranas. You know, in Bhagavata, having nearly 350 or 55 chapters, in 12 skandhas, at the end of the Bhagavata Purana, it is mentioned that Kadhaimaste Katidamahiyasam Vidaya Lokeshu Yashapareyusham Vijnana Vairagya Vivakshaya Vibho Vacho Vibhutirnatu Paramartyam. The meaning of this stanza from Bhagavatam is that Kadhaimaste Katidamahiyasam. Dear listener, all these stories are explained in Puranas, and in the story you can see the players, the characters are there, who may be great kings, who may be great rishis, great rulers, or Rakshasa or Asuras and so on. But all these are stories. All these are Kadhaimaste. All these are stories. You may be thinking that they lived here. You can also think that when they were not lived there. They may be merely the characters of these stories. Why these stories are mentioned? Vijnana Vairagya Vivakshaya Vibho. The ultimate aim of the Puranas is to create scientific temper. To create scientific temper about the life. And to reduce the strength of bondage. Not attachment. Strength of bondage, bandhanam, should be less intensified. The intensity of the bondage should be decreased continuously. These two create the problem in our life. You know, very important thing, our prayer for the last many thousand years, asato ma sadgamaya. Anything, let it be mind, body, family, culture, society, or let it be food item, let it be a music, let it be a movie, let it be a newspaper, let it be a TV show. It should be from bad to good. That is what is known as progress. That is what is known as development. That is what is meant by growth. So, from bad to good. Every day, every minute, growth should be there, and remember that growth is life, life is growth. Death is stagnation, stagnation is death. So every day one fellow should grow, not only physically, academically, intellectually, socially, spiritually, psychologically, but he should also grow. He should also grow from negative to positive, from bad to good, from degrading to developing. So contraction is death, expansion is life. So moving from contraction to expansion, moving from negative to positive, moving from bad to good. Asato ma sadgamaya. Then tamaso mahajyotirgamaya, from darkness to light, from lower level of knowledge to higher level of knowledge, from ignorance to knowledgeable level. Mrityorma amritam gamaya, from ashanti to shanti, from ashanti to shanti. Our day-to-day life, nearly about 85 years or so we live in this world, which is approximately equal to 28,000 days, or 2 billion or 2.5 billion seconds we live here. So when we physically grow, mentally we should grow, psychologically, intellectually, spiritually, socially, economically, financially also we should grow. While growing, the change should be from bad to good, from darkness to light, and also from a tensionful life to tensionless life. How these three can be achieved? When you are at a lower level, these three can be achieved by giving you the messages through stories. In the story backbone is there, the cover of the story is there. Through the cover of the story, you can explain the message to the people if they are not highly educated. For the common man, when you give the story, the Puranas, 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas, give you the stories of many brilliant kings, many asuras. Asuras means the people who are living with the worst character and worst behavioral pattern. Asurika Swabhava. There are stories of Rakshasa. Rakshasa means demonic personality. Asuras and Rakshasa are all human beings having very negative quality in their life. So the stories of the kings, stories of Asuras, stories of Rakshasas, stories of great rishis, stories connected with the personified natural phenomenon. Personified natural phenomenon. The creation, the God of the creation. The God is a natural phenomenon. Lord Brahma, the Lord of sustainment, is only a symbolic presentation as Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Symbolically we put Ichha Shakti, the urge to achieve the great things, enthusiasm, as Lakshmi, and the goddess of knowledge as Saraswati, goddess of strength, power as Parvati. And remember that Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwaras were not there, are not there. They are symbolically the natural force. Like that, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati are also feminine part of the nature where Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti are explained. So all the Puranas, remember, there are no stories connected with the animals, birds, reptiles and so on. In Puranas, only stories connected with the human beings having bad character and good character, or directly linked with the natural symbolic presentation. Puranas do not contain the stories of animals. Even Gajendra Moksham explained in Bhagavata, it is not the story of an elephant, it is the story of a king got converted into an elephant. In Puranas, you should remember that every story is an exaggerated version of explanation. Exaggerated names are used, exaggerated behavioral patterns are used, exaggerated size and shape are demonstrated. Why this exaggeration? To make it convinced for us that they are not historical figures. They are all arbitrarily fixed symbolic presentation of the good and bad, negative and positive. A great king will be having all the good quality. It is explained in Ambarisha Charitam. A bad king, Hiranyakashipu, when a king is bad, how his life will be? When a king is good, how his life will be? When a rishi is good, how he will be living? When the same rishi, even though spiritually enlightened but behaviorally lower level like Durvasa, how he will be experiencing? So, remember, when we are learning MBA degree, I have got 7 postgraduate degree, and the 7th postgraduate degree is from ICFI Business School MBA. While attending the conduct class in IIT campus in Bombay, our mentors were explaining initially the messages connected with the business through stories, the messages connected with the business through the experiences of people, the messages for the businesses directly as advice and guidance, the messages of the business as truth and fact about the business. So stories are for lower level. At the lower level, stories are the best tools and pathways for convincing the people. So remember, Puranas are stories. Puranas are stories. Exaggerated factors are there. Exaggerated explanations are there. There the questions do not arise at all. Why so and so is like this? Why so and so? They are all stories, not history. So when you are learning, when you are reading, when you are watching, when you are discussing about the story, keep in your mind that they are stories. Stories are meant for conveying the messages of the useful, purposeful, fruitful and meaningful life. For conveying the message of useful, purposeful, fruitful and meaningful life, stories are meant for the people at lower level. At lower level, I mean intellectually, socially, spiritually, academically, psychologically, lower level. I told you for the Christians only one book is there. Whether you are zero, whether you are hero, only one book. For Muslims also only one book. But for us, at lower level, Puranas are very good, and Puranas ultimately convey you the messages for changing your mind from bad to good, from darkness to light, and also from a tensionful life to tensionless life. Not only mind, but also body and the family relation and the social bondage and cultural value, and also the national integration level. Whenever negatives are there, how it will be affecting you. That is, instead of experiencing and then correcting through the stories, if you are listening a story for 5 minutes or watching a story for about half an hour, you will be getting great amount, quantum of messages from the stories. So remember, all these Puranas are giving you the good messages for moving from bad to good, darkness to light, and from negative to positive, and making our life useful, purposeful, fruitful and meaningful through stories. Stories of great kings, stories of great queens, stories of Rakshasas, stories of Asuras, stories of great sages or bad sages, like that. So all the Vijnana Vairagya Vivakshaya Vibho Vacho Vibhutirnatu Paramartyam, what all explained in the Puranic stories need not be followed as though they are historical figures or historical facts. Maybe a little bit history may be there, and when history is incorporated with a story, it will be just like our Bahubali film. Historical explanation as a story it is given. So there may be some facts about the history in Puranas, but majority of the stories are stories. Learn from the stories at lower level. People like the stories, they will be cherishing the stories, understanding the messages of the stories. India lived through Puranas. Puranas are meant for common people. They can easily understand the messages of the life through the Puranic stories. So don't try to argue whenever Puranic stories are discussed. They are not history. If you start arguing, you will not reach anywhere. They never try to convince others through argument. For Christians, only one book is there. Muslims, only one book is there. For majority of the religion, only one book is there. But we have got thousands of literature. Anybody can start the argument from one book and move to different books. We may not be well established in the knowledge of different books. So trying to argue and convincing others should always be avoided. Our ultimate aim should be learning and teaching, discussing, preaching, practicing. And whenever somebody is telling a wrong thing and doing negative things, just convince them. These are the factors. If he is ready to get convinced through an open mind, otherwise forget about it. Thank you very much. My pranams to you.